I really feel like this lifestyle is so fast paced. And as we've said, there's a wide margin of lifestyle. And I feel like when we first came into it, you're surrounded by people who live super lavishly, and it's kind of like, you're like, I want that. And then it doesn't go the way you wanted. And, there was a spot in Scott's career where we thought, okay, like we're in the AHL now. Maybe if there's like, it's funny because like now I feel like there's such a opening in the goalie market where you're seeing all these young guys get their shots. But when Scott was first coming in, there was household names like Fleury and Luongo and all these guys that just had these positions on lock. So it was a lot more difficult to get into the league. And there were like 2 years after playing a few games in the NHL where he just couldn't get back up. And we're like, okay, maybe we'll go to Europe, go to one of those leagues that pays a lot just to make the most of it while we can. And now I just think back to those conversations and I'm so grateful yes, he's grinded and he's worked so hard, but so much of this lifestyle is just timing.
You're listening to Breaking the Ice podcast, a podcast that I created in 2020 to connect women within the hockey world. My name's Devin Dodaro, my husband's Charlie Dodaro, and we've played literally all over the world. We have 2 kids, 2 dogs, and let's just say hockey has taken my world by storm. What I've learned is that this community and these experiences are very specific, and you should not have to go through this alone. Through this podcast, I share the tools, resources, do's, don'ts, and what's helped me along the way while continuing to learn from each and every one of you. So lace them up and tune in for episodes twice a month. And make sure to follow the page on Instagram at Breaking the Ice Pod. With Father's Day right around the corner and summer anniversaries coming up, this is your sign to skip the last minute shopping. Whether you're looking for a gift for your husband, your hockey dad, or even want to grab some fresh back to school swag for your little rink rats, Violent Gentleman has you covered with all of the things. I just did an order for my husband and my son, and I am obsessed with the cuteness and the quality of all of the clothes. You do not want to miss this code because they are offering Breaking the Ice listeners 40% off their women's and children's collection. That's Breaking 40 for 40% off. Chances are you've already seen this brand around the rink and in the community, and it's really not just a brand, it's a lifestyle built around hockey and the hockey community. So whether you're a hockey fan, a hockey wife, a hockey kid, Violent Gentleman has something for you. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited for today's episode. It has been 4 years since my good friend Brittany Wedgewood was on Breaking the Ice. And I love recording with my friends on the podcast because it's just easy. It's just fluid. You just flow. You lose track of time. So I'm going to keep my intro super short and sweet for you because like I said, we just kind of chit chatted and then we're like, oh my God, we've been on this call for an hour and a half. We got to get rolling here and get back to life. There are so many golden nuggets in this episode, and truly, I feel like when you listen to this, you're going to feel like you are just sitting down with us and part of this conversation. It was so fun having her back on the podcast. She is such a light. She is such an amazing person, and yeah, it was just so much fun chatting with her. I've also got some really great episodes coming out. We have a Europe episode that I am recording soon, where I will put up a little poll on Instagram if you want to ask all the questions with going abroad. I cannot believe it's like almost July. Where has the time gone? It's just crazy how fast the summers go sometimes. I know obviously like we're back in North America, so we feel like we get a little bit longer of an off season, but still, I'm like, how is it almost July already? It's time to just start packing up for those going back to Europe and making those plans. So I hope everybody's enjoying their summer. There will still be episodes rolling through the summertime, so do not worry, do not stress. And of course, you can always head over to Instagram, and yeah, that's where I share about the lifestyle, about my life. I'm trying to share more of my day-to-day just because I personally enjoy doing it. And yes, all right, let's get to it. misconceptions. This is not your first rodeo.
Not my first rodeo.
We are so back.
We're back. I'm nervous. You said you got a lot of questions.
I actually printed them out.
I know some of, I'm sure, oh my God, I'm sure some of my friends sent such stupid ones. I'm like,
no, it was cute. Yay. All right. We're diving in because it's you and it's me. Welcome back to Breaking the Ice. It's been 4 years or almost 4 years since you've been on the podcast, but we obviously talk in between then often. But yes. I'm so excited to have you back. A couple people messaged me and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to listen. So welcome back.
Thank you. I know, like 2022. So I feel like we were talking and everything was crazy. Like I feel like we've had a lot more stability in the hockey world since we last chatted. So
yes. Yeah, you have. And for those that are listening that may be like newer, haven't been here the whole time. The first time I had Brittany on the podcast was in 2020. I think I was pregnant with Crosby, or I just had him, and we just like bonded right away and we never fell out of touch. And then I asked you to be my co-host on the podcast for like 5 episodes or something. So you've been on multiple times. People can go back and listen. And then we met in person at the retreat I had in 2022, which was so fun. And we just love each other. So I'm happy to have you back and ask you all the things. There's a lot of questions, but we're just going to flow because it's just easy. So catch everybody up to speed a little bit. You guys just finished your season in Colorado.
Yes.
You were on a 2-year deal. What is new in your life since we last talked?
Oh my gosh. I mean, everything. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we just finished our Stanley Cup run. We were out in the 3rd round, so the Western Conference Finals, which was pretty sad because it really felt like the year. Now we've been on, obviously, Dallas and Colorado, who I feel like since we've been on both teams, it's always could be the year for these teams. But I mean, I never go in, like cocky or anything, but just I feel like everyone thought this year was going to be the year for Colorado. So it definitely felt a little bit more numb this year. But I think the great thing about like being on a really talented team is that everybody said, okay, it kind of sucked. We got swept. We couldn't figure out Vegas, but then there's always next year. Like I feel like everybody's kind of said there's still a good 2 or 3 years for this team, this core to kind of do it. So hopefully we're a part of it when they do. But yeah, it's been great. Since we've chatted, I feel like we've gone to the 3rd round 3 times with both Dallas and Colorado, and then just out in the 1st round last year. So lots of playoff experience.
Yeah, I am a fan of whatever team you guys are on. So whenever you guys are on a team, I'm always like diehard rooting for you guys. I hope you go all the way. So we've just like kind of like flip-flopped on whoever we're rooting for based on where you guys are at.
Yeah.
So I remember that. You guys obviously were on Dallas for a few years and then Colorado, but Charlie and like multiple people I talked to that are hockey fans, just like in Boise, were like saying they thought Colorado was going to win the whole thing. So not even from your like own little bubble, like I think everybody kind of thought that. And so how was I know like it was kind of, we obviously talk on the side and that was like kind of a hard time for you guys. How did Scott handle that? How did you guys like kind of process that together? Cause it is a big letdown when something like that happens.
Yeah. I feel like every game, like, we lost the first one. We're like, okay, it's just the first one. No need to panic. And the second one, and you're like, okay, we've lost both on home ice. Now they have to go win an away game. Yeah. And then, you go down 3 games, but everybody's like, okay, we're going to be the first team to come back and win all 4 since Detroit in like the 1940s or something. There was this crazy statistic that no one since Detroit had done that in like 1800s, like way a long time ago. So anyways, we still kept up the hope. But yeah, I know for Scott, it was so sad. This was like his first year where he actually started a playoff game. Like we have been in the playoffs. We've had so much experience, but he was going in cold like for if the starter had let in a couple early goals or if they got injured. He's had a couple playoff games where he's just kind of had to go in and weather the storm. But yeah, this year to start and have such an amazing first round against LA. He played most of the games in the second round against Minnesota. But him and his goalie partner are so close, and they kind of did like a 1A, 1B most of the season, whereas some teams just rely heavily on the one guy. So it was like nothing new to them, and that was great during the second round. And then it kind of went back to Scott for the third round, and then they went to the other goalie for like the most important, like the do or die game. So I know that it was just for everyone. Like it's such a tough loss, and you don't really want it to end obviously being swept, especially after such an amazing regular season. But I think, yeah, in Scott's mind, he's like, I truly did everything I could. The funny thing was he said like the goals were kind of like the ones that he made amazing stops on, like for sure would have been goals. And then there were others where he's like, it went in off someone's skate or this or that. So that's the heartbreaking part about it, like he's like, I wish I could have had that, but sometimes like, how are you supposed to get it if it's a deflection or something silly? Right. And now watching this, obviously I know that with Charlie, you're glued to the TV especially the Stanley Cup final, right? And there's been so many goals this round. Like it just seems like the offense is on both sides is just tearing it up. So it's unfortunate that like, I feel like we couldn't really solve Vegas, obviously, the way Carolina is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely, the first few days after the loss just feel kind of like sad. And that's where I'm happy that we do have kids, as I'm sure, you felt too, where it's just like the kids are kind of like, you still have to get up, wake up in the morning, put on your happy face because your kids don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Their world still keeps turning. But yeah, I mean, the tough thing was like, I kind of wasn't really checking my social media. And then you log in and you got a couple mean messages from fans. And that's where,
yes.
Yeah, that's where you're just kind of like, it's such a big scale because the whole world's watching. And instead of just, having the really supportive Colorado fans who've been nothing but amazing to us, you have just random people checking in on the game or people betting on the games. And that's where I feel like the mean messages come. Like they have no idea. It's just Scott let in a goal and it might have cost them hundreds of dollars, right? So
that's a whole world I know nothing about. I honestly didn't even know like that was a big, I mean, that might be stupid of me to think that, but I didn't really know betting was like a big thing with hockey. Like I just didn't, I knew with football it is, but I didn't realize that.
Right.
But wait, he's never started for a playoff game ever?
Not before this season. No, that's the thing. We've been in the playoffs so much, but he's filled in a bunch of times. But yeah, this was his first playoff start. So I'm really proud of him. I can't because obviously, especially when you're on like the team to, that's being forecasted to win, like all of a sudden to be making, and especially like later in his career, right? So he doesn't have that excuse of like, you're young, you've still got a lot to learn. It's kind of like, we're choosing you. So, give it everything you've got. But
well, did he like the goalie? That is just like so much pressure, which I know he's pretty good at staying pretty even and neutral and whatnot. But that's a whole added pressure to start for playoffs. And like you said, having the whole, like everybody be like, you're like our guy for this, Did he feel different about it? Like, did he feel more stressed out having that role on the team?
I don't think so. I think it was kind of the same as he went in all season. Like he's really thankful ever since he's come here. Like something about this Colorado system. That's another thing. Like I, have said in our previous episodes, I grew up playing hockey, obviously not anywhere near kind of that high level, but I didn't realize that different teams had really different systems. And so when we were in Nashville for 3 months at the beginning, 2 seasons ago, he didn't like the system. And then we come to Colorado and it's a different system. And for whatever reason, he just thrives behind it. So I feel like he just trusts the guys, and then it shows because the guys trust him. So they know that like if they need to cheat up to try and get some offense going, like he'll hopefully make the save at the back end. So I think he almost just went into it the same as like regular season games. And I said that to him too. I'm like, you don't need to look at this as anything different than like what you've been doing all season. The arena was a million times louder, but obviously it's just at the end of the day, it is another game. And if you stress out, obviously that's not going to help. So
yeah, as the goalie, you can't stress out. You have to try to keep yourself.
No. And I think, it really helped too that like the team played so well in the first round, because then it's like just getting those games under his belt. He's like, okay, I've got like a really good, foundation, and he's really close with his goalie partner, Mac Blackwood. And, just knowing that if one of them falters or if one of them needs a break, the other one will go in. And yeah, there's nothing but love between those two. So I feel like maybe if you didn't have that kind of relationship with your goalie partner, you might be kind of like, you might lose it more because you're probably like, oh, this guy's trying to take my job or
like
whatever it is, right? Yeah. So they knew like to make a long Stanley Cup run, there's very few teams that kind of do it all with one person. So they both knew that they were going to get their chance. And I feel like it helped, like they did all season. It keeps the other one like fresh, and they both like were amazing. So
yeah, and that's funny. They both have the Wood last name. I saw those like posts from the NHL. So this is hilarious. I love this.
Yeah, they've got that nickname, the Lumberyard. So and then I think the fans decided, because there was like names when they first got reunited again, because they played together in New Jersey, like way back when Scott and I were first dating. And so like they were together in New Jersey, and then now they're reunited. And people were like, what should we call them? Like the Woodshed, blah, blah, blah. And I think there was a vote and the Lumberyard won. And so I thought that this was just like a Twitter thing, but then someone was in the team store at our arena, and then they started making like legitimate like Lumberyard t-shirts. So now it's like my new sleep shirt. It's got like Mac on one side and Scott on the other.
That is so funny. That people are so, I feel like there's no original idea anymore. Like just people come up with the funniest stuff. And I like live in the comment sections these days on social media. Like it's funnier than the actual video or thing that you see and what people come up with.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
So funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we talk about how you don't watch the games? Are you going to go on record saying that? Because did you see that video that I think I sent, or you must have seen it, where I was like, I don't watch the games. People are still commenting on that video.
I sent you, I'm not going to go through my phone right now, but remember I sent you that like double meme where I put in my own thing. It's like, watch the games live. And it was watch the games the next day.
Yes, I know exactly that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll go on record saying it because, it's funny. I've seen, I don't know, someone in our community, and they were like, no, it was you. You posted something about how, I don't want. And then like, trolls were like, oh my God, you don't watch, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, they would hate me. But,
yeah, let's go on record here saying, I'm just gonna back up here. I'm not the only one.
No. Yeah. So as we've stated before, like Scott is absolutely cool, calm, collected. He is so prepared. He goes in the net, he's just like, I'm going to do what I do. I think it's worse, and you can obviously relate. We can't do anything about it. So I think that's where it's just like, I know that I shouldn't be nervous because nothing that I do is going to affect the outcome. But still, it's almost like, the way I look at it, if a game's like, let's just say 3 hours of your day, like I will just be sitting there stressing out. And there's odd times where if I go in person, I'll watch, but I feel like that's different because you're immersed in it. It's more like, whereas if I'm on the couch, like there's no distractions. It's just like me and the team. Also, I do have 2 young kids, so I'm like never watching TV. We're a couple hours behind here in Mountain Time, like you guys, and I think we're in the same time zone now.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's always like, especially when he's on the road playing these road games, I'm in the thick of bedtime, so it kind of works out. But yeah, it's just like when my dad's here, he wants to watch the game. Fortunately, my mom, is just like, I don't care. Like she would like to watch it, but she knows that I don't. But my dad's like, I want to watch. Yeah. And I'll just sit there and I'll just be like clutching whatever. And like they'll take literally a shot at Scott. And I'm like, ugh, ugh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just don't need to subject myself to like this torture for a few hours. And the best thing is like when it's a really good game, I put it on the next day. I'm making breakfast, like the girl, you know, it's just, it's so peaceful. And I'm like, I know how the game's going to end. Like, I know it's going to win. So I did think about it though. And I think if Scott had always been maybe like a starting goalie or on like a really good team, I probably wouldn't have the same anxiety. But the way that we came up kind of on these teams that were like in super like bad years just to be a goalie there, and then just being a backup and always try, it just seems like it's always been like really like just clawing to stay in. Whereas like if he had like a secure job, you know, a multi-year contract, I feel like it would be a little bit different. So I think it's been a little bit,
So you're saying it's a trauma response.
It's a trauma response. And I've learned it's true. It's like true. I feel like I'm a very chill person, but it's the closest I will get to feeling like really like pit in my stomach, anxious.
Yeah.
And I still have the pit. Like even when I'm doing other things, I'm like, don't think about the game that's on.
Yes. Well, okay. And also there's so many games a year and it's like, you do take the girls to the game. You do show up. You are such a supportive wife. You do all of these things. And it's so funny because when going back to that video, when I originally posted that about not watching the games, it was not even a second thought in my mind to not say I didn't watch the games. I had no idea that anybody would like have a problem with that. And then it made me think, I'm like, do like fans actually think that we watch like 60% of us in this lifestyle have super young kids. These games start if they're on the East Coast or the, you know, West Coast or wherever you are, you're in the middle of bedtime. It's the end of the day. You've most likely been solo parenting for a week or whatever it is. And I'm like, that is wild to me and just something I've never thought about before, that people think we watch every single game.
No, I know. It's so true. And even like, you know, when the girls will get together, it's like, we're all talking, like it's just hockey, I feel like, and that's probably they might not, you know, understand. It's like it takes over every aspect of our lives. So if like we don't want to tune in for like the odd game or whatever it is, like I love, and the girls that I play with know this. I am like a social butterfly when like Mac's in the net or whoever Scott's goalie partner's in the net, because it's just a little bit of like you know, Scott's not playing. So it's like I can just kind of be more social and I'm not so worried. And yeah, everybody's got stuff going on in their lives. And it's true. Like when you think about it, like football's 8 games a season. Obviously, if they played 8 games, we'd be there every time. But they play 3-4 games a week, like,
which is,
you know,
crazy.
It's nuts.
It's crazy. That's so many games, like 3 games a week. And I know you're the same as me and you've got 2 dogs that bark their heads off. It's like, I got to sit up and wait 3 nights a week when he's home till 11:30 or whenever he gets back from the rink, so the dogs don't wake up our whole house. Like, I don't need like 5 hours of just shoulders to the ears. Like, I gotta have a little recharge time and alone time.
Exactly. And we show up in so many other ways all the time to support them, and like in addition to going to the games and watching the games at home. So I feel like that's just kind of like whoever commented that doesn't understand.
No, which was many. So, but it's okay. We know deep down what we've done and do. So it's okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned about like the people betting and the nasty comments and all of that. So, and we like were voice noting about that. And the Chloe Skinner episode where she said the same thing. Her husband is also a goalie. Yes. I have not really heard about this from anybody that's not a goalie. I mean, I'm sure like, you know, big timers in other positions get these kind of messages, but I'm like, it's just crazy to me. Like I can't, and commenting, you mentioned that they're commenting on photos of like you and the girls or whatever, saying rude, nasty things. And it's just social media in that regard has just gone to another level, thinking that that's like acceptable to do.
I know.
And like, you brush that off, right? Like you don't actually let that bring you down, do you?
No. I feel like in the early days, like I'd get like some, and I'd be thinking about it all day. And now it's just like, what, like we've said, what can you do when you have dogs and kids and a whole household to run and like a whole life to you? It's just like, if I let that bring me down, like, what's that going to do for me? But yeah, it's funny, because I was thinking about that episode as well with Chloe, and I don't know them personally, but obviously we have lots of mutual friends, and like my heart goes out to her too, because we've been fortunate enough, I think, to be on mostly like southern kind of Western market teams. We haven't been in Canada. Even, it's very, very different. And especially on teams like Edmonton, where they were playing, where they haven't had, real hardware in a while. And it's just kind of, I feel like, obviously I understand there's like fan burnout. Like you're so sick of like, obviously your team not winning. Like my family is Leafs fans, so we know how that can be. But it's also just, I also don't really like those super mean comments. Like I said, I don't think they're really coming from like fans. I think they're coming just from people where like you've ruined their bet for the night. And so that's what I always try and remember. I'm like, our life is so lively, so full of love. Scott's so good at what he does. And, if he's having an off night or if the team's having an off night like that, you'd never go up to someone in the street and say this stuff. It's all just the screen thing. So I feel like it's probably just good experience for raising like our kids in this day and age too. Like you just really have to take everything with a grain of salt and like, look, people are going to be mean and say nasty, nasty things. But at the end of the day, like there's so many good like fan stories that outweigh the bad. Like this is the first year where there's been like wedgie chants in the arena. So that's been like really, really special. I don't even know. That's his nickname.
Okay, because Charlie was like, oh, wedgie's in the net. Like, he's like saying that to me. I'm like, okay, like, I think they all just like, I'm like, you got, like, you haven't met him, but he's like referring to him as wedgie, like they're like long lost. And I'm like, I love how you know instantly like what his nickname is, even though you've not played, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just funny.
For sure. I feel like there's only like 3 degrees of separation between like every hockey guy probably. But yeah, no, I wasn't there when it first started. I don't even remember. But when Scarlett and I first went, I was with her at the game where we were like in person and we heard the chant. And like it literally brought tears to my eyes. And not even because of like Scott or like myself. I was like, that's Scarlett's last name. Like they're chanting Scarlett's last name. And then like, some neighborhood kids like kind of figured out where we lived the other day, and they're super, super respectful, like boys around 10 years old. So it could go one way or the other, right? Like they could be like super like face. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other night, like I'm trying to, it was only 9, but obviously, young kids, it's like in bed already. And I just hear like wedge outside my window. So yeah, that was really just like, I don't know. There's so many lovely, and there's a million nice messages for the one nasty message you receive. That's the other thing too, like there's always take those ones in, because it's so much, I feel like it's so much more to give someone a nice compliment versus a nasty one has no basis, right? They're just pissed because their bet didn't go the way they wanted or whatever it is.
With social media too, everybody feels like they have access to you now.
Yeah.
Which is like, back in the day when we were younger, it was like magazines and all this stuff. And like people couldn't like directly contact you, like where it wasn't like coming to your phone. And like sometimes you see things that you like don't want to see, but I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to like mute that kind of thing out. But I feel like with like, obviously there's been some shows and stuff like that have increased the popularity of hockey. So I feel like a lot of the time too, it's not even people that watch hockey or care about the sport or are fans of a certain team. It's literally just people on the internet assuming that anybody that's married to a hockey player, regardless of the league, is just, riding the guy's coattails, has no life of their own. Like it's all these like, and we've obviously like talked about that before on the podcast, but it's just a weird, I think now with the sport becoming so popular, like the lifestyle of it.
Yes.
People just have so many more opinions about it than they used to also.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like even like the term wag, like I feel like I just heard that myself like a few years ago, but it was never even like it was just like wag jackets. It was like that one time a year when you'd make the playoff jackets, but now
Yeah.
it's just like everywhere, which is cool. I feel like, yeah, once again, there's so many supportive people that are like, but also I feel like there's a lot of people that are kind of like idolizing it. And it's just kind of
Yes.
like, but I guess that's why, that's your whole reason for this podcast, right? Like you're sharing the ins of it and how,
Yeah.
with obviously it's such an adventure, but there's a lot of like crap we have to navigate too.
What is your take on that word?
Oh my gosh. I mean, to be honest, I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't know. Like, I guess it's kind of what we are, but
I guess so.
it really just like clumps us all in like the exact same. And I feel like in a way it does kind of stereotype.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a lot, obviously I don't want to say anything that's already been said a million times, but there's a lot of us that don't work, that move to a different country, that weren't able to work. Like I went on so many job interviews when I got here, would get to the same point and then they'd say, oh, well, you're Canadian. So like we could give your job to an American. And I have my degree and everything. So it's tough when, people assume like, oh, you're just riding off your partner's coattails. You don't work, like you don't want to work. Like, and then you get to be like a mom and it's just like, you're like, oh, now I'm like in the thick of it. Like I don't have time for anything else. Like last few weeks just with like moving and trying to figure out like our plans going back home and whatnot. Like I'm not even on my phone. Like I'm checking my texts, which I'm very bad at the last month a few weeks since we've been done. But it's truly just like there's multiple times a year where we're just like moving coordinators and packing. And obviously there's different levels to it. Like there's my only jealousy, I think, in this life are the people that can afford like a house in season and a house in the off season, and you just like close the door of one house and like go to your other one.
Yeah.
But I think that's also just we haven't really been on a contract long enough to like purchase a house anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once the season ends, like we're packing everything up. We've got a literal pod that just got delivered today and our U-Haul that's on the back.
I just love stories. He's like, I guess on the 23rd time you don't get this for free. 25th time or something. I was like, oh my gosh, that's
yeah. So I feel like once again, like, there's wags that, are living much more glamorous lifestyles than you and I, but obviously we're still living pretty well. So it's just tough when you're trying to think like one term. It can't define everyone. Like, yes, we are married or dating this certain person, but like we all live very different within, these parameters. Yeah.
I knew you were going to say you didn't like it because
I
feel like we're the same. And I have never once referred to myself as a wag. Speaking on social media, nothing. I just can't do it. I cannot bring myself to write that out. I don't know. And it's no offense to anybody that has or like refers to yourself as that. I just like personally like, I would say like wives of a professional hockey player or wife of a professional hockey player. Like I just, it kind of is like a cringe term to me. I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
I hope if anything now, maybe like with so many people wanting to get into hockey, like maybe they'll see how different it is across leagues, even, on the same team, right? Like we don't live the same way someone making like $12 million a year would live, right? And just same thing across the AHL and the ECHL in Europe. Like it's so different. We're all wives of professional athletes, but it varies so much. And the women vary so much too. You know what I mean? Like I feel like so many of us are, just, I don't know. We're all just individuals. And so, yeah, it's really tough just to, I guess we all fall in the category, but it's broad.
I meant to start this podcast off with a question from your husband, which I sent to you already, but what makes her husband so perfect? Minimum 10 reasons. So Scott Wedgewood would like to know that answer.
Oh, wow. Okay. I can think of like, oh my gosh, there's too many to name. Are we going physical? Like his butt, his beard. If we're not talking physical, like I can't think of one.
Yeah. Standard answer for you too.
Super trash.
Okay. And so I have said all the time that you are like super humble, and I love that about you. I love a humble, down to earth girly, my only kind of friends I will have in my life. And I'm just going to pump your tires for a second that some of the questions, what's her skincare routine and secret? Her skin is flawless. How does she stay so fit? Pilates and counting macros. Tell my queen I love her. That might have been from one of your friends. Erin Albee from Nashville. Please tell her she's the one that got away and I love her. Someone asked, okay, what's your favorite memory from this season? If anything comes.
It's okay. It's really tough to just narrow it down. I feel like, yeah, because at the beginning of the season, like I spent, until January pregnant, and then just really like with both my babies, I feel like I'm exclusively breastfeeding. I don't like being away from them. So I feel like I kind of go into a little bit of like a hibernation, obviously, but for a while, probably counter to my Instagram. But even like for the playoffs, like it probably looked like I was having like the time of my life, but I was going to the games with Scarlett while my mom was home with Daphne. We would go for warm-ups. The first 10 minutes of the game just to hear like the lineup read, and she'd see her dad's photo on the screen. And then we would leave. I would do like a late bedtime for her and then just be on call for Daphne because she's so young. So anyways, a favorite memory, I would say one thing that I really prioritized this year was like just going to the games with Scarlett, because a lot of people I feel like would just be like, I'm pregnant, I'm not going to go, which I definitely felt obviously in my bones, but I was like, I'm sure you remember with Crosby too, like you have no idea like what's coming. And obviously it's been pretty much the same. I feel like we still have our solo time together, but I just really wanted that to sink in. So every game that we would walk into, I would take, and some of them I posted, I would just take a little video of us like holding hands, like walking into the arena, and just seeing, just having that really fun time with her. Like it was around the 1.5 year mark. So she was just really fun. She couldn't walk when we left last season. So coming in September, and she started walking during the summer. It was just so special to see her like walking through the halls of the arena, running into Bernie's mountain dog, who's our mascot here in Colorado, who she loves. So I feel like just going with her to the games, just in general was my favorite. And then, as I said earlier in the call as well, like probably that first time hearing the Wedgie chant with her, I have to tell her that that's her last name. Like I don't, she knows her name's Scarlett, but I don't know really if she made this. So I'm like, that's your name. And she's like, okay. Yeah. But for me, that was definitely, just
and
spending
like a year from now too, she'll know her last name, and it'll be like, it's just going to get even sweeter and more. And they like hear that and recognize that. And
yes. Now she even says too, like, should we like, obviously now she knows Scarlett Wedgewood. And then because she loves obviously her dad, his partner's Mackenzie Blackwood. So she knows like Scott Wedgewood, 41, Mackenzie Blackwood, 39, like both of their numbers too.
Oh.
So no matter who's in the net, she's got it. She's got it on lock.
When does she turn 3 again?
Next March. I toot my daughter's horn, which everyone does. Who cares? She is so smart. Like this child, I don't know. I genuinely do think it's because my mom's lived with us since Daphne was born, which is a problem because she's Canadian. So she needs to like get out of the States or else they're going to kick her out soon. But
she's 6 months, isn't she?
6 months. Yeah. So mom's been here since beginning of January, just in case Daphne came early. So she'll be leaving it'll be like six months pretty much.
Okay.
So anyways, but no, I think because my mom's like been here, and her and I are just talking to each other like adults, I think Scarlett has absorbed everything. Yeah. It's crazy. And like my mom's got like, certain things that she like says over and over, and now Scarlett's like adopting them, and it's just crazy like how much she's like learning. I think because we're like not being filtered, like we're just talking, and she's like, but
you'll see with Daphne too, like she's gonna wind up talking and picking up, like Crosby will say the funniest little expressions, and then Skylar will like copy and imitate. They'll be like, well, like they both go, well, and that's from me because I'm always like,
I love that.
Yeah. So it's just funny to see the
like giving yourself a beat to like think.
Yeah. And I'm like, I will raise like animated, funny kids. Like we don't need any dolies around here. Like we got to have funny expressions. We got to be quick on our feet, witty, they got to talk like older than they are. That's the funniest kind of kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Going from 1 to 2. How has that been for you?
Like, once again, if my mom were not here, I would be having a totally different experience. And I've said that to all of my friends who are kind of in that. I'm like, if you can have a family member, a sister, whoever, even like hired help, whatever, I'm like, because truly, I think the most difficult, like, I feel like everybody has a very similar second baby experience where like postpartum healing, like amazing. I knew that like the world wasn't ending. And I remember like I didn't have like I'm very blunt with like postpartum. Like I didn't have depression. I didn't have anxiety with Scarlett. I know that. But still, like when, your milk's coming in and your hormones are crashing, there were still a few days where I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I can't give this baby back. And now she's just in my life. And I'm like, you're feeling these feelings and that you're like, I'm like, okay, I know that this is just my body like tricking me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I feel like then, you start experiencing like constipation, fussiness, gas, whatever. And you're like, this is horrible. This is never ending. I'm never going to sleep again. Whereas this time I'm like 6 months is going to pass just like that. It has. Like Daphne will be, I guess, 5 months in a few weeks. And truly, like everything that's come along, I've really just been like, enjoy it, because it's like, and you never like, you might be in a really good spot and then all of a sudden it's crap. We just had the 4-month sleep regression, I think, a few days ago. And it rocked us.
Yeah.
But, now we're good. Now she hasn't pooped in a couple days. And I'm like, okay, well, that'll come.
Yeah. You're more confident the second time around. Like things that you're Googling and stressed out about or whatever, you're like, I remember this. Like it starts to come back to you and you're not as
exactly. You're just kind of like, and then the moments like, where they're sleeping on your chest or where like you just like cuddle them and you're just like, okay, like I'm going to miss this. Like you don't think, you just want things to kind of speed up with your first. And then your second, you're like holding on tighter because you're like, but the only negative, as I said, with my mom being like, thank goodness she's here because I don't have the hands. That's like my problem. And I feel like your toddler, like Scarlett's walking around the house. She doesn't need me to pick her up. So now it kind of feels like a chore to have to like pick Daphne up because I'm like, well, I just freaking did this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Continue. It's just been, that's literally my only thing. I'm like, I don't have the hands. So fortunately with my mom, like she's just been incredible. And I think that's been really important for Scarlett too. Like more importantly is like, mom would hang out with Daphne and I'd take Scarlett to ballet still or whatever the case was, or to Scott's hockey games. And it's really important, for Scarlett to have that time with me and to like feel seen in her own right. Even just like taking her to the park without her sister, I feel like has been such a good thing for her behavior and for her, wellness.
Yeah. That is hard to do. I'm like always trying to be better about making sure each of my kids have like one-on-one, because it's kind of easy to forget. Like when you're just kind of going through the motions or days and you have to go here and here. And, if your husband's gone, it's like, okay, I haven't really spent that time yet. And maybe that's why this behavior is bad. So, but you're a really good mom. You really are. Like you're very intentional and you do truly like, soak it in as it comes. And I feel like that's so good that you don't get, obviously I'm sure there's days where you're overwhelmed and tired and touched out or whatever, but I feel like overall you have a very like good mindset and everything about, because it does go by so fast. It's like, I blinked, I have a 5.5-year-old. I'm like, what?
Yes.
What is happening? I don't know. So Nashville, the show, for those listening, we all have a tie to Nashville.
Yes.
My dogs are Deacon and Raina, Brittany.
Oh yeah. And then I have Daphne, who's one of the daughters on Nashville, and Bucky, who's the manager. I'm like, wait a minute, oh my God, and Scarlett. I'm like forgetting that character completely. Scarlett, who is Deacon's niece.
My gosh.
And Bucky's the manager. Yeah. Bucky was the name of the manager. And then Yeah, I was just waiting. Like Raina's dad needed to be named like the captain or something because like that just would have completed
That
our
is
like thing
so
since my
funny.
other dog's name is Captain. But
You
yeah,
didn't know this. So you named Scarlett before you ever watched the show. You had the name picked out for Daphne. Then postpartum, you were like, I'm finally starting Nashville.
yes.
Saw all the names. And then you're like, oh my God, we all have Nashville
Yeah.
names in our family. That's
We have
so
the whole show. I know that's so wild. Like, yeah, I guess people, I don't know if they are fans of the show, maybe thought that that's where I got my girls' names from, but it wasn't. I started watching afterwards. So
yeah.
there you
That's
go.
too funny. I know we were watching that show when we got our dog. So Deacon was like immediate name. And then when we got Raina, Charlie's like, we need to name her Raina. And I was like, oh, that's kind of like corny to do them like both from the show. But then it just like, I
I mean,
can't
we
even.
do the same thing with frickin' Marvel, so you guys are cooler than us anyways.
Does everybody get that with your dogs? Like, do they know?
No, I think it was really like a thing when Marvel was in its height, like when we got the dogs. But I feel like now, I mean, maybe if we name Bucky like Winter Soldier, because that's like, it's like Captain America and the Winter Soldier, but like his good guy name is Bucky. Scott
Yeah.
just didn't want a dog named like Winter, which I thought Winnie would be so cute. But then he's like, we're getting a boy. And I'm like, okay, true. So anyways,
Next time.
that was our thought process. But yeah, I feel like I'll like, if kids are petting them, I'll be like, yeah, do you know Marvel? This is Captain America. But that's the only audience that it's really a hit with.
Will you ever have two dogs again at the same time?
Yeah. But you know what? Like, I know you won't because I know your dogs.
No.
I know they trigger you.
No, I can't.
Mine trigger me too. But the only problem is like Bucky is so friggin' attached to Captain. I just don't think like, I'm like, I can't not have a second dog for him. Like he's going to need another dog. But my other thing is like, I want a full Bernese Mountain Dog. That's what I wanted to begin with. But Scott was like, well, let's mix it with a mini poodle because there's this new Bernedoodle breed, like back in the day when we got Cap. And then so both of ours were supposed to be like minis and they're both like 60 pounds. They're big boys. They're not standards. They're minis.
You got scammed.
Yeah. We got scammed, which is fine. I love a big dog, but I'm like, in this case, why did we not just get our Bernese Mountain Dog? So anyways.
But do you want the shedding? Can you go back to the shedding after not having the shedding? Because when I go to a friend's house,
yeah, I think I'll complain about it for sure. But I also was like, let's just get 3 Roombas, call it a day, just have them whipping around the house.
You're going to need more than 3 Roombas.
I know. I want a Bernese Mountain Dog and I want to name him Cedric from Harry Potter.
I was going to say Laguna Beach. Oh, just kidding.
No, but also yes. But no, I just have this vision of a Bernese Mountain Dog named Cedric. And then, yeah, but I just don't know if Scott and I can come to an agreement because he's like, I think I talked about this on one of the episodes way in the past. Like he never had like, he's such a golden retriever type personality, but his family never had dogs. Like they called it quits at 3 boys, which valid.
Wait, we're the same. Because Charlie, he has 2 brothers and they had but I think we have talked about this. We must have.
Sure. Yeah. And like respect because I would feel the same. But yeah, so it's almost, I feel like the doodle was like an entryway just like into dogs for him and then I think he said too, a lot of his friends, their dogs weren't well trained. It was just situations where he just like didn't get the hype until we had our own. And even now, like we make jokes about, he doesn't hate them, but he obviously like, he's all about the girls, right? And I'm like, give the dogs some love. They were our babies first.
He tolerates them.
No, but yeah, I mean, I think we'll always have to have 2 dogs. So
is he converted now? Like, is he in love with them or is he like, just like, you know what I'm saying? There's a difference.
Yeah. No, he's in love with them to the point where like, we'll see other dogs on walks and like, he'll be like, hi, buddy. Like, so I'm like,
you're like, they're ugly. Our dogs are way cute. We say that all the time. Our dogs are so much cuter than
yeah. Except now we can't because Scarlett will repeat like exactly what we're saying.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Or like you see doodles and you're like, our doodles are cuter.
Doodles, yeah, I know. And like even obviously I know your dogs and personally, Captain has been like a victim of like a bad haircut where I'm like, oh, that's a bad haircut. Like, and I know because I've been there. Like, so actually, we were supposed to have them getting groomed today. And then the groomer just flaked on us and they're like, can you Sunday? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And then my mom's like, what do you mean you can't do Sunday? And I was like, why? Like, she's like, Scott's going to be gone. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, Scott's driving the dogs back to Michigan. And I'm like, oh yeah. Imagine I didn't like, I think my one brain cell would have just been like, we don't have any dogs for you to groom.
Yeah. Whoops. So sorry. My bad. The mobile groomer.
Yeah. Only in season. Out of season, like I feel like we would not pay that premium, but just it's so much easier for obviously like the school and everything. Like I'm like I'd way rather just, especially with 2, like just exchange them. You're done. Like
okay, I just side note, not that people probably don't care that much about our dogs as much as we do, but I bought this thing on Amazon and it's like a groomer thing that goes into like a little, like I shave them myself and right. Because I'm like, it literally costs like $300 to do right. both of them at the same time. And I want them to have the same cut. But I'm like, in the summer, they just shave them anyways, which I can do. So right. I bought a nicer, like, I think it was like $70 or something, but it goes right. into like the container and I do have to empty it out, but it's nice because it doesn't go all over the place.
Exactly.
It's a nice cutter. So if you ever have the energy to do it, you could, but I know it's
also a lot of jobs.
Yeah. What has been your favorite spot that you guys have played in? It doesn't have to go hand in hand with the organization or the city. Like it could be 2 separate answers based on that.
Okay. So I think when you've played as many places as we have, I should get 3. I'm going to give like a 3 answer.
Give us top 3.
For the weather, I'm going to say Arizona, which unfortunately no longer has a team, but I've heard that they really want to get one there. It's just kind of difficult right now. So Arizona, because when you're there in the winter, it's just like Groundhog Day every day, like just throw on a hoodie and you're good to go. And like, it's just like the dry heat, like obviously you're from California, so you know, like it's just so nice, like in the winter. And yeah, playing for them, the team was never really great, but it was kind of one of those teams where sometimes they'd surprise you and be really good. So yeah, that was a really nice place to play. And we were there twice.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's my first. Dallas. Yeah. This is going to upset the fans because Dallas and Colorado have a real rivalry, but no, I have nothing but good things to say about that organization. The GM there really tries like a family first, approach from the top to bottom. Like I knew every staff member's names. The coaches' wives were in the room with you. They'd be like, here, let me hold your baby. Like it was just a really family feel organization. And then we were there long enough where we made friends off the ice as well. And of course, Scarlett was born there.
Yes.
So that's, it hits different. And then Colorado, because here I think it's been the best for Scott's hockey career. And it's just, unfortunately, since I've been here, like I was thinking about it, I have had Scarlett since she was like a young baby, like she was like 8 months or so when we were traded here. Then I was pregnant when we came back. So that's just pregnant with a toddler and then it's been newborn days. So I haven't been able to give Colorado like the love that it deserves. I feel like just because like lifestyle, obviously right now, but the girls, like it's such a good group of girls. I feel like it wasn't really until like the end of the year last year, like playoffs, when stuff really kind of like, I really got to know people. But yeah, this whole season, we have like our captain back, Gabe Landeskog, who was out for 3 years with such a traumatic injury. And so his wife is a lot more in the mix this year. Such a good captain's wife, just really trying to include everyone. And I feel like I was very much in the middle this year. And I've said that to the girls where like last year, because I just had Scarlett and she was at a good age, I was able to like go to all the playoff parties and have a couple drinks and just really get to like have fun. And then now it's just, obviously it's been different this year, but I feel like I made really good friends with the girls kind of like that didn't have kids yet last season. And now this season I've been like a little bit more of a mom type, but the other moms on the team, their kids are kind of like yours, like they're a little bit older. So for example, like we'll meet up at the park and they can kind of like sit back as their kids are playing, but I'm like going on the slides with Scarlett and I'm like, hey, what are you guys talking about over there? So I'm really, we've had a friend both seasons where like they've been almost in the identical phases of life as us with like their first kid's age and then having a second kid. And both times those friends have been traded or signed elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm really just like praying that like maybe with the changes that'll happen this year, we'll get another person kind of in that same stage of life. But truly, it's something to be said that I feel confident like in either, group. And then we can all come together as well. Like it's one of those teams where like I love it if you're missing things and you don't have FOMO. You're not like I need to be at that because this is going to happen. Like, it's just kind of like I can hang when I want to, sit back when I want to. And so I feel like, out of all the places we've been, probably Dallas and Colorado, because obviously I've had a kid in both cities and the fans also in both cities have been amazing, which they probably don't want to hear because they go back and forth.
I didn't realize that was a big thing between those two teams.
I know. I think it's pretty recently for the most part, but yeah, I feel like it's always within your division too. Like we play them so much. And the teams are so like evenly matched. So yeah, but no, I love both cities.
Okay. I actually was surprised that you said Arizona. I was not expecting, that wasn't even a thought you were going to say that. But I do remember you at the pool, like in the winter, and I'm like, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you. I'm over here in like the pits and it's freaking snowing or raining.
Oh, what's funny too? I frequently think back on that. That was the second time we were there that we like stayed in a player's really nice house that belonged to a player on another team. And I was just like, man, like I was like wedding planning, no kids, had a pool to hang out by. And I'm just like, but I still remember feeling like it's always just funny how you feel pre-kids. And now I'm just like, man, I would freaking kill for that. Like, come on.
I know. And then it's like when I don't know, it's whatever phase of life you're in, you understand once you hit it. But it's like, it's the same with like, like I was all consumed with like wedding planning, like so stressed out about it. And then it's like when you have a kid, you're like, oh my God, that was so dumb. Like that's nothing compared to like having a kid. And then when you have two kids, you're like, one kid is nothing. Why was I so stressed with one kid? Two kids is like a whole different ball game. I thought you were going to say Nashville for location. That surprised me.
Yeah, it's such a fever dream since we were only there for 3 months. I've said this verbatim though, because obviously the girls will always ask about like the places that you've played. And I feel like I can confidently say Nashville for like everything because living wise, it was incredible. You're like a lot of people live outside the city. So like, but you're drivable to the rink. The rink is in the dead center of everything. And then we lived kind of like close-ish to like Franklin, which is like the cutest small town that I know is like so popular with like locals and tourists. And then the organization, incredible, took such good care of us. The family room, it's like in the Lexus lounge. And so you have access to this and like the fans pay good money to have that. It's like the most like drinks, food, like just everything you could imagine. And then another nice thing there is that like they're just the flow of everything. Like the guys come out and like the little kids get to like high five them before every game. Like it's just everything is so well thought out there. And then the girls on that team, I can confidently say, were the most welcoming of any team I've been on. And I really haven't been a part of any like bad groups, but just everyone there was like so sweet. And I'm like, how were we only there for a few months? Because truly, like I made, like Aaron, who submitted the comment, like I really made some great friends who still check in on me. Like our goalie, Saros, was the other goalie there when we were there, and his wife, like every time I post something, she's like, miss you. And I'm like, so it's unfortunate that Scott didn't love like the hockey system there, and it just didn't work for him because truly, if anybody's listening and you have I say this to the girls on Colorado, if Nashville wants you, go there because you will have a great time. Scott didn't have a great time, but Scarlett and I were having a great.
You're like stayed forever.
Scott would like come home, like be really sad, and like I'd just be like, oh, like,
and it's like,
Scarlett, like hide the stuff, like pretend that we're sad.
Put on a fake smile and together because we don't want to leave.
Yeah.
Both times I've gone to Nashville, I'm like, I could live here. I love it here. Like the vibes, the music.
Yes.
I remember the rink because remember that like little rooftop thing we went to where we were drinking water because we were all tired and grandmas. And the rink is like right there. So it's like literally like right by
So that's partly owned. It was the 1230 Club, right?
Yes, but what is that street called?
Broadway.
Oh, Broadway. Okay. I was like row or something.
That's partly owned. That bar is partly owned by Yossi, the captain of Nashville.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. So whenever that's another thing too, like there's so many parties there because he's part owner of it.
Didn't we do a lunch there or was that? Yeah.
I don't know. That trip was a whirlwind. I was like, oh yeah, we did. Yeah. That's where we met for the first time in person.
That was so freaking fun. I wish like I would totally do something like that again, but I don't know what it was a flop. It's like I did Cabo thinking it would be like people would be stoked. And then I just think given Mexico and like, I don't know, it was just like it was too big of a risk. I lost like $800 from that. That was really annoying. So then I got scared to like
do it again.
But it was so, I remember leaving that trip and being like, that was like the best group vibe. And like, I didn't want that weekend to end. And then you like go back to reality. You're like, oh no, I'm depressed.
And like just, talking to whoever, like you always had someone in common. Like it just solidified how small this like community is.
Yes. And like, regardless of the league or whatever, it's like everybody, like we all go through such similar, experiences and like hard stuff. And we literally get every feeling. But I'm glad you have a good experience with like the girls and everything.
Yeah.
Because that makes all the difference. And I think it's good what you were saying. And I know we're kind of like, we'll wrap up in the next couple minutes, but it's good to have people in different phases of life on every team. Like I have come to realize that that's actually a positive. Because like we're obviously in the ECHL this year and like I'm the granny on the team and I feel so old, but I love all the girls. They're so sweet. They're so good with my kids. It was me and one of my best friends that she's my age too. And we both have like the older kids and our kids are good friends. And then like nobody else has kids. So like everybody had all the time in the world to just like dedicate their attention to them. Like when we would be in the room after and, like, my kids loved them. And that was, even though there wasn't like tons of kids, it was nice to have, and they kept me young. They taught me all these, like this slang and now we're doing this. My kids are doing, but it's great. But it also is nice to have someone that's like in the same phase. Your kids are kind of the same age. It makes it easy to go and to coordinate. And then, your kids are kind of like entertained together.
Exactly.
But it's ever changing. I also don't blame you for not being like the person that's like planning everything. You just had a baby and gonna look different every year. Like next year, maybe you'll be doing a little bit more because, So
it's, I know. It's so great. And like the thing that I love about our team, and like maybe this will change, but like we are such an older core. Like we only have like a couple, like I think we were the second oldest team in the playoffs. Like I think our our age is like 30, like the median age on the team.
Wow.
So like we've got some older. So it's really nice because I'm seeing like these like moms older than me like navigate. We had Burns on our team who's 41 and his wife, and they had kids younger, so like they've got a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old, and it's just so it's cool because like their 16-year-old would be like chatting with us like girls, and and then lots of kids around like 3 to 6, and then you've got like Scarlett who's kind of like older younger baby kind of thing, and then a couple of us had babies this year. There's a couple that probably will next year. I can't name names. Essentially. And it's just, and it's nice too, because I feel like because I've gotten to know the girls without kids really well too, like a lot of them have said like, they just ask you questions and it makes you feel really good because these hockey women, like for whatever reason, most of my like best friends not in hockey don't have kids yet or don't want kids. So I didn't really have anyone before me to kind of like ask about kids. And it's been like people that I've been on teams with previously that I've heard stories from and that I kind of got my information from. Like, it's literally been this hockey community. So it's sweet that we all get to go through this stuff together. Weddings, engagements, bachelorettes, babies, like all this stuff. It's really nice to have. You've obviously got your friends at home, but then to actually have like supportive women during the season. So
people before you and people behind you, and then people in the middle that are
exactly.
like, you're kind of navigating.
Yeah.
I remember when I was like younger and I would like look up to the people that were older too. Like I kind of like watch and be like, oh, this is how it's supposed to go. So it is interesting. Like obviously teams there, it's getting younger and younger. I feel like with like wanting guys and stuff, but I'm like, don't kick out the vets, because like you need people that are older that can like set that dynamic from the beginning. Like, we're a team, we're a group, the girls are a team and a group, and like let's make sure, because it makes literally the biggest difference if you do that. I've been on a team where I'm one of the older people but the only one, and then everybody else is kind of younger, and like there's no culture because it's like nobody knows what they're doing. So I like that your team is older. I think that's cool, and it will kind of the experience better for everybody, like long term.
Yes. Even like the guys too. Like I know that they needed goalie help when we were traded, but a lot of the stuff that the GM kind of said too is that they needed like a shake up in the locker room. And like Scott's the guy for that. Like he, we moved so many times that he can kind of be plopped in anywhere and just make conversations, make everything a little bit more lighthearted. So yeah, I feel like experience and age, like it's a good thing. It is. It's just wild that we're like, all of us are kind of like on the upper end of it now. I'm like,
I know.
I remember when I was like, 22 or what, and obviously people start a lot younger than that, but yeah.
I know. I'm like, some of these people are the same age as my niece who's 21 and I'm hanging out with 21-year-olds, which is so weird and funny, but also everybody's so cool. So it doesn't feel strange.
You're like, what's that Mean Girls where they're like, oh, you girls keep me
up. Yeah. I know. I'm always like, I'm so old. They're like, Devin, you're not old. I'm like, no, but you don't get it. Okay. I'm like, I have a 5-year-old and you guys are like going out to the bars.
There's like those conversations that stick out. Like I remember one team in the AHL, like I was probably like 22 or 23. And this like one fiance was talking and she's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be 27. And internally in my head, I'm like, oh my God, 27 is so old. And I'm like, I needed to get slapped back then. I didn't obviously say it, but I want to like slap myself for thinking that 27's old.
Yeah. Are you 30? Are you 30 or 31?
30. Well, I just turned 32.
Oh, wait. Okay. 32. Okay. I'm turning 34 in October. So.
Oh, you're Scott's age. You guys.
I'm like, oh, the time is ticking. Okay. Let's finish on this note. You may know what's coming, what's not coming. Advice. Okay. As you've gone through this hockey life, as you've been on this podcast, you've gone through things. What is advice you could give to someone that is listening?
Right.
Be anything. It could be anything just comes to your mind that pertains to like what you want to say.
I feel like this is like a graduation speech kind of thing. It's like the culmination of everything that we've done together since 2020, like a farewell.
Are you going to cry?
I know. I would say just really trying to go through life, like grace and humility and just not taking things too seriously if obviously certain situations. But I really feel like this lifestyle is so fast paced. And as we've said, there's a wide margin of lifestyle. And I feel like when we first came into it, you're surrounded by people who live super lavishly, and it's kind of like, you're like, I want that. And then it doesn't go the way you wanted. And, there was a spot in Scott's career where we thought, okay, like we're in the AHL now. Maybe if there's like, it's funny because like now I feel like there's such a, opening in the goalie market where you're seeing all these young guys get their shots. But when Scott was first coming in, there was household names like Fleury and Luongo and all these guys that just had these positions on lock. So it was a lot more difficult to get into the league. And there were like 2 years after playing a few games in the NHL where he just couldn't get back up. And we're like, okay, maybe we'll go to Europe go to one of those leagues that pays a lot just to make the most of it while we can. And now I just think back to those conversations and I'm so grateful yes, he's grinded and he's worked so hard, but so much of this lifestyle is just timing. And I hope that like sinks in with people too, because we live in Michigan in the summer, which is huge for hockey. And there's always people asking Scott, like, how do I get my kid into the NHL? Which I know like you get asked about too. Like it's just, you can just get in.
Your resume.
Yeah. And it's just like, there's so much of it is just luck and timing and like being in the right spot at the right time. So truly just being thankful for everything we have. He had the best season of his career this year. Him and his goalie partner won the William Jennings for the lowest amount of goals, which is insane.
That's amazing.
And it's just, no matter what happens next season, no matter what happens in his career, like just being thankful for all these things because they've all led us to where we are now. And even if it didn't turn out this way, like we would have been fine. You kind of just do what you have to do in this career. And as the primary support person, like it's just everybody, all the wives and girlfriends, I'm not going to say the term.
What?
Wags listening to this conversation should be so insanely proud because we're the people that like manage everything behind the scenes and you make your partner safe enough and comfortable enough to go out there and do their dreams. So I really hope that everybody's just, just enjoy it and the good stuff does come along with the bad. But I mean, I'm hoping, I think Scott could play until he's 40. So we might be around a long time yet, but regardless, it's just been really, really a roller coaster and I've loved it. There's been some crappy times and now like I'm just really proud of where we're at.
Well, I could not think of a better note to end this episode on. That was amazing. I love that so much. Thank you for coming back.
It's 3:30.
I know. Oh my gosh, like clockwork. I know. Okay. Thank you for coming back on the podcast, spending this time with me. And if anybody wants to follow you, where can they find you?
We're still recording. I just want to like talk to you like we're not recording again.
I know.
My Instagram is just my full name, but I think it's 3 T's. Brittany Wedgewood with 3 T's. And I post semi-regular updates, not a lot right now because we didn't even talk about the move. But anyways, we're moving back to Michigan at the end of the month, all that craziness for like 2 months, 60 days at home just to come back to Colorado again. But all part of the fun, right?
Yes. Yay. Well, love you lots and
love you.
You'll be back.
I will. Oh yeah. Like have me on whenever. Have me on whenever.